explanation was really not, not captain worthy. I think someone like Maguire, with all the stuff he has gone through, is really good captain material and very resilient. And this precedent being set, like of us getting our best academy talents, guys are going out there and they're performing brilliantly. Look at Scott McTominay. I mean, that's the guy we currently need, and we sold him. Look, the guy is on the list to win a Ballon d'Or. He's performing so well. He now has De Bruyne over there to help him, and I think we'll only just see more and more amazing stuff coming from him.
Yeah.
Look at another. Okay, he's not a midfielder, but he's an attacking winger. Elanga. I feel like this. Amorim wanted, a fighting number 10. I think Elanga could have really worked in that position.
Yeah.
We saw him in the game yesterday against Newcastle. He was brilliant. Like, he was supplying the ball, beating like the left back and stuff like that. He's been performing well. For Burnley, just recently, the game on Sunday, Hannibal, another guy we sold. He's doing so well there.
Yeah.
So I'm just feeling like, we're really wasting a lot of talent, then going and buying very expensive people, and then they end up just not, working. I feel like, I think, okay, maybe this season our recruitment has kind of improved. Cunha and Buemo, you can see the value of what we got. At least they went for experience in the league, and that is showing. They have not scored yet, but there's just that appetite. Like, this close to delivering, but we still need to have a better structure. As Minja was explaining, like, we need to start scouting people way earlier. Like, I feel like how Liverpool do. Apart from Wits, I think all their signings have worked for them. They usually get someone who fits the profile of how they play, the positions they need to be played and stuff like that. And this person just comes in, slots in so well, and hits the ground running. Even if you look at Man City, you just say, they're buying expensive people, they have the money and stuff like that. But they buy people who really fit their playing style in the system, and they don't take long to adjust. They also have their hits and misses, but for the major core team, they're able to get things right. So I think we have a problem in preparation, and then you have a problem now, which we never used to have, of now integrating our youth talent into the main squad, which was never a problem. Like, we're just now selling very good players who are going elsewhere and thriving, which is quite sad to see.
Yeah, it is quite sad to see. Before I go on to reading the comments, I want to make sure that we are live everywhere. Because
Let me check for you.
Joroge, this is your field of expertise.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that
you're really trying. Doing it as a one-man army, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Yeah, it's not easy. So
you're the coordinator, the moderator, the videographer.
Yeah, but
everything in one.
Technician, engineer.
Yeah, the good thing about the UKG community is that they are very understanding, as you've seen. We've
they are.
We've grown a big community on here, as well as YouTube. I'm seeing that guys have come back on YouTube as well, and we just want to make sure that everything is running, everything is working well. We might have to extend the time a little bit because most of the time was taken up by by us not being online. But I want to invite everyone to make sure they post their comments in the comment section below. And for your information, for the first time, we are live on Facebook, our Facebook page as well. So we finally got Meta to approve our go live. So a big win. Yeah, so I think now we are good. Guys on TikTok are posting comments. There's also a chat section on the right hand side. This is my right hand. The camera usually flips. Yeah, so anyway, one thing that I mentioned even in our private chats is that Amorim is very brutal when it comes to other players. And Njoroge Muigai, you said very well in terms of captain material. We saw what Ten Hag did to Maguire. Removed him as captain, kept him on the bench, and right now Maguire is one of the best players we have at the club. Of course, the system suits him, but as a man, as a player, he has worked hard to make sure that he gets back to his best. So when you were discussing on our private chat, I did mention that I'm not sure why Amorim seems to have a soft spot for Bruno, and yet Amorim is the one who sold him from Sporting. So it doesn't make sense in that aspect, because when he was
Maybe he's trying to pay.
or they needed the money probably, because the 63 million they got, it helped them win the league.
They did.
Yeah, it did. So for Kobbie, it's a discussion that has been there since last week. He didn't play against Arsenal. He didn't play against Fulham. And now we have a game tomorrow. In the last section of this show, we'll do a Grimsby preview. So please make sure that you don't log out, guys on YouTube, guys on Facebook, TikTok, the multi-stream. Please don't log out. Don't sleep early. Sorry, we had issues with the tech. As you've heard, I'm the producer, the director, the technician. So, yeah. So back to my point is, whatever decisions Amorim is making at the moment, they are making him fall under pressure. And as the title of the video, the thumbnail said, pressure building. So Amorim has only been at the club for 8 months, has only won how many points? Is it 28 in 29 games?
28 out of 29.
Yeah, it's not 28 out of 29 points, just to correct guys who are listening.
Oh,
it is 28 points in 29 matches.
Yes.
Just
Not a point per game.
Yeah. So
Terrible.
the question, I'll start with Njoro, because Njoro, you've spoken less than Minja. Minja, I think, hold that thought until Njoro does finish. My question to you, gentlemen, and I'll start with Njoro. Should we keep chopping and changing managers, or should we stick with Amorim, considering it's only the second game of the season?
I feel we need stability, and we are not Chelsea. I think Chelsea have done, and some other teams have perfected that whole switching managers. I feel United was a team built on having a long-standing manager for many, many years, and I think that, in as much as it was an advantage, it worked to the disadvantage of not being able to transition. The transitioning has never happened smoothly, and ever since then, this quickly changing of managers and not allowing people to implement their philosophies and styles. I think what was this guy, the German guy? What was his name?
Ralf Rangnick.
Yeah.
Yes, Rangnick. Clearly said that the problem is not even the players on the pitch. It's a whole system whereby you cannot implement. People are stuck in a certain way of doing things, and it's very hard for someone to come. You remember when you're saying we need open heart surgery?
Yeah.
And I think with Ratcliffe right now, that's what has happened. You've seen from the back room, from going to this whole story of freezing out someone like Anthony, who's bought for a lot of money. Can you imagine the amount of money we bought Anthony for? Who will have managed to buy out of all these talents? Guys like Hugo Ekitike, people will have bought with that money. Major talents. That guy has not been playing, and he's been frozen out. Sancho, all the money we bought him for, he's being frozen out. So this is that open heart surgery happening. It's a very painful stuff. I feel like one of the bad things Amorim did was build these expectations that the good days are coming. The last game of the season where he gave that speech where saying the bad times are behind us and stuff like that. While he has not yet settled and put his philosophy well, he shouldn't have built that much expectation, because as we also, this is United. If you look at right now, we have had the same outcome as Newcastle in the opening 2 games, a draw and a loss. Newcastle yesterday played very well against Liverpool, the same way we played against Arsenal, and people are not there bashing them and stuff like that. They're like, wow, did you see the energy of the Newcastle players? I think, our guys played the same when you're like, looking forward towards the season. And then in the first game, they had that drop. And, people are not bashing them. People are just on United, United. It's like a big telescope. And I think that's something even the players should understand. When you're bought and brought to this team, this team, they like using it to make headlines. So all the pundits, all the critics, they'll come at you. So you have to have very thick skin. You have to have your talking points ready. The things like Bruno is saying, like those are just things that will make you be more a target for the, Amorim coming and saying like, okay, we are not ready for Europe. We need to play this way. Or like after that Arsenal game, he said like, we showed everyone we can beat any kind of team. And then this performance where his tactics sort of like let him down because he saw where the game was going and, he didn't improve. So, but okay, he does need time. He has gotten the preseason. He has gotten some of his players in. He's gotten the people he doesn't want out. I feel like, changing him, talking about changing him now would be just very premature. So he just needs like, that time to build and put his philosophies in place. And you need to like have a settled manager. I think that's what they went for him. He's a young manager. So they're like, okay, they did this big risky move, removed Ten Hag, who I felt should have been left to finish the season, and decided to do this major change. If we remove this guy too soon, we'll just end up in the same place, even worse off. Because, which manager will you get to, handle the egos, handle the pressure, handle the media and the players, in as much as some of the players who are being touted as problematic or something have left. So we should give him time to do his work and his job.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've had a ding on the chat or on the live. That means we've just gotten one more subscriber on YouTube. I'm scared of opening or touching anything to see who it is. So I'll go through my phone to check who the subscriber is. But now let me throw the same question to Minja, as well as mention what your thoughts are when it comes to the fans having that dopamine effect or dopamine high of a manager comes in, we perform a few months, and then after a few months they want the manager to be sacked.
Well, I agree with Muigai. One of the things that you have to realize is why we are in the situation we are in is because we have gotten in a position where we have been sacking managers while not backing in the managers well enough. The problem with that is that when Amorim started, he probably had a squad made up of 5 manager signings. All those managers had different ideas.
True.
You look at McTominay came back from the time of Mourinho. We look at the signings that came up in terms of Ole, in terms of Ragnick, Ten Hag. So what happens is that you have 5 major signings, 5 manager signings, but the manager who comes in with a different system. So everything in itself is a problem. What happens is that when a new manager comes in, there's this hope that one of the things that the way it's presented is that he'll bring the glory days back again. It's in fact it's been one of the songs that it's heard all the time. Ruben Amorim will bring the glory back days again. So what happens is the people hang on to that, but what they don't understand is that any process takes time. If you look at the reason why I was talking about Liverpool, not that I'm comparing Man United with Liverpool, but my essence of talking about Liverpool was how long they had taken before they won the league. When a new manager came in, he had to get in his new players. And one of the first things that Klopp said in his first interview was that it will take 4 to 5 years to win the league. That is acceptable for Liverpool when you mention that. If you mention that as a Man United manager, immediately the press run with it and it becomes a problem. You're not even allowed to say it will take a year. So what of the thing is that because there's that Man United being a big club and have a big following, the negative news about Man United will always sell. So anything that you mention that has a negative ring to it, the press will run with it. But naturally, if you look at a team, we had a project. They said the project 2028 that they think they can win the league in 2028. What that means in what I interpret it as is that you have to take the time to build a squad, and it will take 2 to 3 transfer windows. Assuming this window, we had to get 6 players in. To get 6 players in, we are already 4 players in. We can count them as 3. Diego Leon was not necessarily meant to be for the first team. So we are looking at only 3 players that have come in. By the end of this window, because we only have around 6 days, maybe 2 more players come in. So we don't complete the rebuild that we wanted. We go into the next window. We are looking to replace the ones because somebody like Rasmus Højlund is leaving. What happens is that we'll still need another striker. Chidobe is not good enough to start. So the next window, we might probably even be thinking of a striker. Even after getting Sesko, we'll need 2 combative strikers to fight it out. So what happens, in my opinion, is that it's a time that we need to get over the dopamine effect. Stop thinking that we can have instant results. Like Njoro said, if you look at the teams that realistically, after finishing 15th, the next point you wanted to qualify for was Europe. In my opinion, by thinking qualifying for Europe, we weren't thinking about the first, second, third, and fourth positions. We were fighting out for that 5th position, because in England, the 5th position will almost be guaranteed to be a Champions League spot, because the English teams will always do better in Europe. They are much advanced in their progress. If you look like a team like Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City, they were well advanced. So in my mind, we were looking at fighting for that either 4th or 5th position. If you're looking at fighting for the 5th position, what are the teams that are more likely to be in the 5th position? You're going to have teams like Aston Villa, teams like Newcastle. Both teams have a point each, by the way. So in the same way, but they don't get the level of Man United will get with a point. If you look at the manner of the games, the first game was a close. Mostly, if you are honest, we don't like losing to Arsenal, especially those people who grew around the 2000s when there was a fierce battle between Man United and Arsenal. If you love football at that time, you know we don't like losing to Arsenal. But we did lose because they are advanced in their progression in terms of Arteta has had 6 years, still not won the league title. So in this season, we are trying to get Amorim to do what Arteta has failed to do in 6 years. But we are giving him 7 months. He's only been at the club at 7 months. So realistically, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't get into the dopamine effect of trying to get a manager to have a miraculous instant change. In my opinion, give Amorim time. One of the things that I've noted is that the team are playing with higher intensity. The team are making, in fact, if you look at last season, one of the biggest pet peeves with the season is that we were not closing down fast enough. If you look at this game against Arsenal, the reason why they couldn't score and the reason why the only chance they had that was good was from a set piece is because anytime they were going to make a shot, we were always there. If you look at Odegaard was given a ball and he was coming in trying to make a shot, and we sprinted towards the ball and we were able to stop it. If you look at the previous game, there was a game we lost to Chelsea 4-3. One of the problems that on a corner, the pass that was given to Cole Palmer, he had all the time in the world to decide where to put it. Nobody sprinted towards him. So that is one thing that Amorim has changed. The reaction time to second balls, the reaction time to in fact, the stats shows we are reacting faster to second balls. We are blocking shots faster. We are recovering balls faster. We are pressing more. So those are the things that I look at, because when you look at a manager, sometimes when you're winning consistently and when you're not winning consistently, one of the problems is that you are not performing consistently. So if the performance is raised and it consistently raised from game to game, I believe we'll have more points. We'll be able to win more games. And what are the metrics for performance? There are things like the pressing. There are things like winning second balls. There are things like how fast do you close down players when they get the ball. So our stats have gone high in terms of pressing the ball, in terms of the recovery. In fact, we are recovering balls within 17 seconds after we lose them, within 10 seconds. It could to be a case, if you look at the goal that one of the goals that were so ridiculous. There was a goal against Tottenham last season where Van de Ven went through our whole team. It took around 30 seconds and no one came close to him. So he ran through the whole team. He passed the ball and Dalot was not anywhere near Johnson when he scored. So I think those are the metrics that we should look at, and those are the metrics of performance that can be able to show us if the team is progressing or not. I believe in the next game against Grimsby, we can be able to win that game. We can also win the game against Burnley, and the outlook will be completely different because football is a game of instances. If we win, the dopamine effect, which we are operating on by now, we're doing well.
Changes everything.
I did tweet that United are PTSD FC. We are traumatized. Just imagine that was a draw and everyone is reacting as if we lost 5-1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to add on to Minja's point about the intensity pressing and stuff like that. In this game against Fulham, in the first half wasn't that bad. In the second half, the moment people stopped doing those things, and Fulham grew into the game. That's when you started seeing the whole attack. Fulham is just coming to a box and they're Smith Rowe, the energy Smith Rowe brought in. Then Iwobi could get the passes through and the crosses and stuff like that. And I think those are the things, as you have said, if these people perform consistently, I think the results will come. So that lack of consistency is what might kill us. And I think that needs to get in through to the heads of the players, because some people say oh, you're being so harsh on these players and stuff like that. But I'm like, these guys earn a certain salary, some of us will never see that kind of money per week. So when you're told everyone can see you're playing, you're not playing up to a certain level, it's visible, for a whole season. For me, one of the players you've mentioned that I have I know he's not the topic of conversation, but I have to mention him. Dalot has become a liability
a huge
one
to this team. He was touted as, he's good in attack, he's his strength is not in defense, he's good in crosses and all that stuff. I think even that Fulham goal was because of his lack of awareness. And once Ahmad came off, that wing died. The other game against Arsenal, once Ahmad came on, you saw there was a change and Dalot came off. And Dalot has been, that guy, he does this ridiculous out-of-the-box shot or cross once every 20 games. People are like, you see. But in the 19 games, he's been even below average. So I don't understand. Those are the liabilities. Those are the guys who are not performing consistently, who cost us and stuff like that. So I really support what you're saying, Ninja. Consistency and performing at those high levels and just playing simple football. Because whatever he did in that game was just ridiculous. He wanted to do this flare turn, and he was just out-muscled from the ball.
So I'm scared of touching anything because I've just posted a comment, share your thoughts via chat, and the system started freezing. So I think the next ground debates will only be choosing one platform, and then we invite guys to join that platform because this is way too risky. I know guys on TikTok won't be happy, but we might have to go with one platform. So before we continue, there are a couple of chats that have come in. Thanks for everyone who's posted their comments via the chat. If you haven't already, please do. Today we are not as vibrant as we always are. Let's be vibrant. This is the debate, the ground debate. Don't forget about that. We will change the title next time to the ground debate. But let's hear your thoughts, guys, on Facebook, guys on YouTube, as well as guys on TikTok. Please post your comments and share your thoughts. So a couple of comments here. Eddie said, all good and clear. Thanks, Eddie, for that. Nicholas, you're asking, will Amorim change his formation? I think we addressed that already. And I think it's also your first time commenting. Karibu sana to the UKG community. Karibu to the platform. Kevin Mwangi is a regular. So Njoro and Minja. Kevin Mwangi was like our first viewer on TikTok.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you,
Kevin
thank you,
Mwangi
thank
was,
you. Kudos, kudos, Kevo.
yeah, Kevin has been with
Pioneer.
us. Yeah, he's the pioneer, and actually he's the first guy to post a comment as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he was the first follower from our live. So you can see Kevin is a massive, massive fan. I think next month we should gift him a membership via TikTok.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's good.
Definitely.
He's a big one.
Kevo is a legend. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but it's Zoo. I'll pronounce as Zoo or Zue. I don't know how to pronounce it. You said well, saying Joro, stability is key to grounding players and skill. Absolutely. We need stability. We can't keep changing managers left, right, and center. As Njoro has said, Chelsea, they don't sign players for the manager, they sign players for the project. At least Ineos are trying to do that. But at this point in time, if we sack Amorim, we will go back another 5 years or 2-3 years. Ten Hag took us back 10 years, guys. I think you guys can agree with us. He took us back 10
Yes, we
years.
did.
Because the squad that at least was left behind was good enough. SKD is also one of our regulars. He always comes in, supports the channel, supports the platform. So SKD, hello back to you. Zoo, you go on saying that they had to defend the only goal. Sometimes you have to, especially when your luck has run out like United's luck. Yesterday, I think, Minja, you had me saying about Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We are hitting the posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that Kunia chance.
Yeah.
The Bindir, I think the strengths of Bindir have been shown in his distribution.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
Leno saved that. I was like, how?
And and on any other day, Cunha could have scored it.
Yes, he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what happened with Cunha is that he went for placement instead of hitting through it.
Yeah.
One thing of going to placement, you have to be accurate enough. So he left Leno the chance, because the moment he didn't strike through the ball and went for placement, Leno guessed right and he was able to save it.
Yeah.
Another one was the Buemo head against Arsenal. I was like,
Yeah.
how did that guy save that?
How did he not go in?
Yes. Yeah. So now my views on us having that knee-jerk reaction, that dopamine effect. I've mentioned a couple of times that this is real life. This is not Football Manager. Njoro and I are very big players of that game. In fact, Njoro is the one who introduced me to Football Manager back in campus. And I've never stopped playing that game. I think we'll also
addictive.
Yeah, it's very addictive. I think I'll also be doing gaming lives on socials whenever we are not discussing Man United. For example, in the international break, who knows? I can invite Njoro and we have fun on it.
Yeah.
Minja refused to play games. He played FIFA a bit and then yeah. So we can't treat life like Football Manager or FIFA or PES. For example, on those platforms, on those gaming platforms, you'll be given a budget of 200 million. You go to Liverpool, you buy Salah, you bring him to United. You click buttons, score goals, and then now when you come to real life, you're like, Bana, I'm winning games with these players. How are you telling me you can't win games with these players?
Yeah.
So we need to be patient. And I said also on social media via UKG that if social media was big in the 90s and early 2000s, even in the early 80s, Alex Ferguson would have been sacked a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Jurgen Klopp could have been sacked a long time ago. Wenger could have been sacked a long time ago. Wenger was getting top 4 and he says, I'm okay. Yeah, you look at Tottenham. Tottenham struggled for a long time because they kept sacking managers. I remember there is a time they hired, what was his name? This manager. He was there for quite some time. And they sacked him. So, yeah, my next question to you guys is, Where do we go from here? It's the second game of the season. Guys are being impatient. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Minja, you take it first.
Okay. In my opinion, what we needed to understand with this season is that in every season, it starts shaping up around game week 8, game week 10.
Yeah.
That's when you find the league is shaping up. As you see, if you can look at the table, Sunderland are up there. I don't think there are many people who think that's where they'll finish. Man United are down there, and based on what we'll play, it's not where we'll finish. So I think what we need to understand is that this season, if you look at the game, if we win the game against Burnley, we probably jump another 7 positions. So what that tells you is that you can't read so much into the season at the moment until at around game week 8 or to 10, where the teams have settled, where if you have new signings, they have had enough time with the team to start creating partnerships. One of the things that I noted in the first game, when Ahmad came in and Mbeumo, they kept making the same runs. They kept miscommunicating. Either Ahmad does an overlap and Mbeumo fails to see it. Sometimes he does an underlap and Mbeumo is not able to go on the other side. With time, such things are fixed. But around game 10, you know the other players' games. Mbeumo has not had enough time to play with somebody like Ahmad, because if you look at one of the problems that we were talking at when we signed Mbeumo, one of our biggest problem was Mbeumo and Ahmad have similar games. They are both right wingers who are having to adapt either as a 10 or a right wing back. What happens is with such players, you build them over time. They get to understand each other's games, the way they play. So the way forward is to first consider the games that are coming up. We have 2 games in Grimsby and Burnley that should be won. If we can win those games, then Amorim has enough calm before the storm that comes after the international break. You know, the first 2 games of the international break are Man City and Chelsea. They are not in any way easy games.
No.
So what will happen if what I need to be able to see in order to judge Amorim is at what point will we be in game week 8, in game week 10? Because that is when you realize the league is shaping up. If a team has taken the early lead in the league, is probably unreachable. If you find it's a good team, so you need to understand where are you from your target. Make sure about this. The target is not the title for Man United this season. In as much as we can find ourselves there, then that will be another case. If we get to game week 30 and we are in with the contention, then that's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
But the target that has been communicated is Europe.
Yeah. And
so the only way we can go from here is to work on how we can get back to winning.
Yeah, and just to cut you short on that, sorry, Minja, is whatever you've said is what Amorim said a few hours ago, and everyone is angry at him. But it's the reality.
Yeah, it is. It is the reality.
He said the same thing. He said, number one, you're not ready for Europe. We were never ready for Europe. Even if we won the Europa League, we could have been slaughtered in Europe, which is a fact.
It's a fact.
We are not ready to win the league. We are not yet a good team, but everyone seems to be up in arms about it. So, yeah, sorry, I've cut you short. I'll throw it back to you, and then we'll have Njoro. Before I ask you, Minja, to continue, guys on TikTok, I told you TikTok nowadays usually it's like they are limiting me to 1 hour. In case we go offline, you can jump over to YouTube or Facebook and continue watching us there. I'll also try to bring it back live. So in case we are cut out, in case TikTok logs me out, if you're able to jump onto YouTube, and I'll try also to start another live on TikTok. So Minja, back to you.
Yeah, so as I was saying, there are going to be expectations with the team. One of the things that I've understood is that there's a point you raised up about us winning 28 points in 29 games. Unfortunately, that's going to be a yardstick that's going to beat Ruben. But if you look at it from a measured point, you realize last season was our worst season in history. So any stats that you compare, even if we had won our first 2 games, that would make it what? 33 points out of 29 games. Doesn't look good all the same.
Yeah.
What happens is the management decided that he wanted to come in the summer. He didn't want to come in the 6 months, but he was brought in to take it over the 6 months so that as a stopgap measure. Right now, when he has his signings, what do you see from Amorim? One thing you see is that there's an improved performance. In fact, one of the reasons why people are so angry at the Fulham game is because they were so excited with the Arsenal game that they expected we'd blow Fulham out of the water. So it would be probably 3-0, 4-0. But if you look at all our games, we have beaten, we are unbeaten at Craven Cottage in the last probably 10 years. But all those games were close games. In most cases, the last 3 games were won in the 90th minute. So it's not usually an easy ground to go to. If you look at the performance of Fulham against big clubs at their hometown, they try to make the games close, and in most cases, they win the games or draw the games. So what we need to do is to understand that we will probably win more games than we did last season. In fact, that is given. But we will. I'm expecting us to win the Grimsby game. I'm also expecting us to win the Burnley game. But it's all a matter of patience, to understanding that it won't be a quick fix, because as we going into the last week of the window, we still need a goalkeeper, we still need a midfielder, and we are not sure if we are going to get both. So it's going to be a careful balance between finding the team we want and starting to get points consistently. Okay. But as this team grows, I'm making a note that they will improve and they will win more games. In fact, I think they'll get some points in those games against Man City and Chelsea, and probably win one of them, if not both. Okay. So it's going to take time, and that time is what Ruben Amorim doesn't have. Unfortunately, the last season will always be a yardstick to beat him, because any stats that you bring up, as long as you put in his performances from the last season, they won't look any good. True. So it's up to the Man United fans to think about it as a clean slate starting from this season going forward.
Yeah. Now, Njoroge Muigai, Minja has mentioned about one player there in Bruno. We have an issue currently between Amorim and Kobbie, because Amorim said that Kobbie is fighting with Bruno for the same position in midfield. There are reports that Manchester United will make a decision in the next 48 hours regarding the future of Kobbie. If you are in that hot seat to make a decision, as let's say the club director of football, would you sell Kobbie? Would you push the coach to start him in games? And furthermore, is it early to start talking about a move, and yet he can't play against Grimsby tomorrow, and he can't play against Burnley on Sunday?
I think there was this, when he broke out, I think one of the comments that was made is like, the future of Man United is in players like Kobbie Mainoo. And I feel like, as I've said, like academy players that we have produced are some of the best. And I feel like with, Bruno aging, he's not getting any younger, but Kobbie still, hasn't even hit his prime. He's a player I would actually urge the manager to put in and ensure he fits into that system somehow. And also, we have seen Bruno, I think now with time, he's been a fantastic player for the club, but he does need to rest in some games. Yeah. Even, sometimes in the last few seasons, there are times where he's been like lethargic because he's playing every single game, which is fantastic and awesome. But, sometimes he was pulling 6 performances, below par, below what you're expecting of him. And that would be a good way of now, having Kobbie come in and taking the reins and playing in some of these cup games, giving this guy a rest, even if he's the captain, ensuring just balancing. And I'm sure they can balance how to play them out, because the team is also not so saturated with that kind of player, kind of player there. So I'll definitely keep him.
I'd also keep him, because if we look at the midfield options at the moment at the club, they are not so great. Toby Collier has left on loan. Eriksson left on a free. So who else is there? It's Ugarte, who's, I think, having a worse season than Bruno. Casemiro, it seems, cannot play past 60 minutes. His
Oh my
legs
God.
are giving in. His fitness.
I've loved his performances the past two games, but clearly,
Clearly, after around 60th
yeah,
minute mark, it's like he's struggling. Of
yeah,
course, it's the start of the season. All players are not as fit. Because even Mbumo, I don't think Mbumo is fit. You look at him, he looks like he's struggling. So I agree with you. We don't need to sell him. I don't want us to sell him. And having those talks, the good thing about the wording is he's open to a move. He's not saying I want to move. He's saying he's open to move. So it seems that if a chance comes, then he will move. If he doesn't, he's ready to stay and fight for the position. So as I said, TikTok have kicked me out. So guys, TikTok are kicking me out. So make sure you now start jumping to YouTube because TikTok is kicking me out. Kobbie is a player we can't afford to lose. We can't lose Garnacho and Kobbie in the same window. That will be a pain for us as United fans, our history, our reputation in terms of budding young players and them playing. And we look at the stocks at the moment; they are getting lower and lower each season. There is a season we had around 3-4 players in the first team that were academy graduates. Right now, if we look at that Arsenal game, we look at the Burnley game, I don't think we started any academy graduate in that starting 11. You look at, of course, Johnny Evans was there, he's left. You look at Alejandro Garnacho is left, Rashford has left, Kobbie is in the bench. And we were so proud that we could play academy graduates. Right now, Liverpool and Arsenal are playing academy graduates and they are scoring winners.
yeah.
That used to be Manchester United. You remember the Federico Makedas. You remember what was the other guy? The guy who played under Van Gaal and then he disappeared. What was his name?
Even Rashford against
even
Midtjylland.
Rashford.
When he came on against Midtjylland, he scored the first 2 goals as an academy 18-year-old.
Yes. Yeah. So you look at those players, and now we don't have those players. At least Kobbie last season did that. He was an academy graduate winner against Lyon. I also think he scored, if not last season, the other season versus Liverpool. So our stocks are getting lower and lower, but Ineos are changing it. They've signed players like Chidobe, Eden Heaven, although now he's not an academy graduate. Diogo Leon, we can't say he's in the academy, nor is he in the first team. I think he's just there about.
In between.
Yeah, in between. Yeah, so I agree with both of you. Mainoo needs to play. Bruno needs to get some rest. For example, Grimsby, he shouldn't even be on the team bus. He should just be left at home. Yeah, shouldn't be on the team bus. If Kobbie comes in and performs, and we did see in the preseason he was performing well with Ugarte as well. He was performing well.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so if Kobbie performs well versus Grimsby, then he comes and plays in versus Burnley. He's physical. Burnley is a very physical team. Bruno is mourning a lot. He's crying a lot to a point where he's losing penalties because of a shoulder badge.
Yeah. In fact, if you look at one of the things that you said, if I may add to the point, is that Bruno is a very emotional player.
Mm-hmm.
One of the instances, if you remember correctly, he lost the ball trying to talk to people while he wasn't looking at who's coming to take the ball.
Yeah.
So from the penalty point onwards, he didn't play well.
Yeah.
He kept being emotional, trying to control the game, and he said it even after the game that he was so pissed off that the referee didn't apologize. That is neither here or there. He shouldn't even be concerned about it. Yeah? So
especially
it's
for the captain. The captain, that's not something the captain. Any other player can say that, and be like, okay.
Exactly.
But the captain will just accept liability, responsibility. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, and we move on.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a terrible excuse.
Yeah, and it all goes back to what Roy Keane said. And guys were on him, they were bashing him, they were abusing him on X, majorly on X. They were saying that Roy Keane does not know about Bruno, his time is past and all that. But Roy King was right. He
Yeah,
said Bruno is not captain material. Yes, he has talent, but he's not a
exactly.
captain.
He isn't.
Yeah, he's not a captain.
Clearly, he's in that what Amorim is doing, the leadership.
Yeah.
The
He's in
leadership
that
group.
leadership
Yeah.
group, but not the captain.
But you know, there is always a de facto captain. In fact, if you look at closely, most players are looking up to Maguire. He might not be the captain,
Yeah.
but there is that confidence he brings in players. The fact that he's played before, he's gone through the hard times, he didn't complain about it, he kept quiet, fought through it, and you can see in his performances that he's one of the players that we look up to whenever we want to change games. So I think one of the things that we did wrong, you can't have a player who's so emotional as the captain, because when you look at the captain, he's the person supposed to bring calm when there's the storm. So when he's the storm and he goes, who are you looking at to?
Exactly.
Who are you looking at the wall, eh?
For example, I did say in the review, in the match review, that if that happened, you have to have EQ, emotional quotient, to know that
Yes.
I'm not now in a right frame of mind to take this penalty. There is no time
Yeah.
wasting during penalties before the
Yeah.
referee blows the whistle. Just tell the referee, hey, look. In fact, I would have given it to Cunha to give him confidence, because he hit the
That was
posts.
what we expected.
Yeah. He hit the posts. He was not having good luck. Give him. Tell him, okay, now score. This is your time to open the floodgates.
Yeah.
Or give to Mbumo. Tell Mbumo you are good in penalty taking. Take it. And you see, the moment we lost that penalty, it gave Fulham renewed hope. Fulham, so
they became another team.
they became another
Yeah.
team. And what pissed me off the most was these players and coaches, the Fulham players and the coach coming out to say we knew what they were going to do. We knew how to counter them. You guys were not in the game for like 20 minutes. You're speaking
Yeah,
as if you beat us 4-0.
and that's the biggest thing. You know, one thing is that you can make a victory speech after a draw as a Fulham manager.
Yeah.
You can't do the same as a Man United manager, because it
Very
sounded
true.
like a victory speech. But in Man United, if you have a draw, you can't even say anything positive about the game.
You remember Ten Hag? Ten Hag was like, we played well. The
Yeah.
goalkeeper did well. It was good. Coming to Fulham is tricky fixture.
Yeah.
We take the draw. We work on next week. That's not a United manager. And I keep saying,
No.
I love Amorim. If you are Amorim out, you must be out of your mind.
Yeah.
Honestly, because Amorim is even shutting down journalists. You remember when he was asked about why Onana didn't start and Bayandia made a mistake?
Yeah.
He was like, why?
Yeah. Why should he play? Huh? What evidence is backing him to start?
Yes, exactly. And then, of course, you heard him saying, don't ask me about new signings. That's not my job. My job is to prepare the team for Fulham. And you want to sack such kind of a manager and bring back someone like Ten Hag, who was like, we tried, we want to sign him, the team is working hard. No, in fact, I think, just to digress a bit, I want us to go to the Grimsby preview in a moment. In fact, I believe that if Amorim came in immediately after Ole Gunnar, we could have been much better by now.
Yeah, he could have. He could have spent the 200 million that was given to Ten Hag in a better way.
Yes. Yeah, true. And you look at the players that Ten Hag got.
With his ruthlessness, you'll not have, played around with people who are.
And you look at the players that Ten Hag got rid of. He got rid of McTominay. I'm sure McTominay will have been a key figure in this setup, because you know that McTominay can play well. They got rid of Fred. Fred will also have been a very good option as a number 8. They got rid of David De Gea, who in this system will have been okay. Yeah, all these players didn't have some good time in their end, but it was because the atmosphere was becoming toxic. I don't think Garnacho can complain about how he's been treated compared to how Ten Hag has treated Sancho.
Yeah, couldn't.
Yeah, because Amorim
Although Sancho had a better time in terms of treatment because he was given a 3-month holiday to work on his mental state. So he probably not the one to complain about it, but he still
that's
could have been
what
left
I'm
better.
saying. I'm saying that
Yeah.
that is the issue. That's where the issue started, because
Yeah.
Sancho's issue was he we know that he's lazy. He does not want to train hard like the rest.
Yeah.
He always came in late. He was sleeping late nights playing FIFA or streaming or going to boxing. But you see what Amorim has done with the current score. Look at the first iteration of Garnacho, what he did with Garnacho and Rashford. Garnacho came back as star player, and then all of a sudden he fell off Kosabi Akiburi because of his pride. If Amorim was there, what I like about Amorim and what the research I've done about Amorim from even sporting fans online and watching the YouTube videos about Amorim. Amorim will tell you as it is, and he will help you become better. For example, he'll tell you you need to lose weight, or you need to sleep early and come to training. Look at Lenioro. Lenioro is one of the examples of a player that has come in and has completely become a star defender at the age of 19, 20.
Yeah.
You look at even Mount. Look at how he's handled Mount. Ten Hag was always bringing in players like you come from injury, he plays you the next game. That's why we are having issues with Lisandro Martinez, because he was just getting back from fitness. He gets injured. He gets back from injury. He gets injured. You look at Amorim. He's giving them time. I keep saying Sheshko could not have played the first 2 games. Why? Because he didn't have good preseason.
Yes.
So, Amorim, for me, to close the discussion, I'll also give you closing remarks on Amorim, Bruno, and Mainoo. My closing remarks are, as always, we need to be patient. I said that if we continue losing games, drawing 1-1 or getting 1 point by November, it will be very difficult to support him, to give him like a backing, because it's like you've gotten a new front three. Probably he'll get a keeper and a midfielder. So what else do you need? The other thing is we also need to understand that football is a squad game. And I mentioned on X that you don't expect the players on the pitch, the starting 11 are all-star players, and then the ones on the bench are East players. They are deadwood. You look at Fulham, they brought on 2 players, Iwobi and who? It was Iwobi and Emil Smith-Rowe, and the other one, what was his name? He brought on 3 players. Yeah?
Jimenez, he brought on Jimenez too.
Yeah, and
Jimenez,
and they changed the game. You look at our bench, can we say the same? Yes, we can. But it's not a must Zaxi to start. It's not a must Kobbie to start. It's not a must for even Maguire to start, or even Lenioro. It's not a must for him to start. For example, versus Grimsby, we can decide to rest him. So we need to be patient with the coach. Let's give him more time. We can't keep chopping and changing managers. And United is built on stability. We've wasted a lot of time. And the last point I'll have, and I'll ask Njoro to start, is we are trying to fix 10 years of messes, and it can't be done in a matter of 6 months. Amorim came in November. He didn't have a preseason. He's had his first preseason. Ineos came in 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago. They are trying to fix issues. They've not done perfectly. They are not 100%. They've made mistakes, but they are fixing issues. So let's just be patient. That's my take. So Njoro to you, Minja, and then now we go to the Grimsby preview.
Yeah, maybe I'll say just like I know we're talking about United, but do you know our noisy neighbors lost?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
And no one is talking about that.
Because they are not
United. United will always be in the mouths of people. Like, no one is talking about that. They lost 2-0 to Tottenham. It was quite refreshing. And no one is talking about that. No one has said, Pep Guardiola is done for and all this stuff. So I think I think give the manager time. I know you're a big club, you're used to results. But yeah, give the manager time to build this project. If you look at the Newcastle playing now, when Eddie Howe went in, that was not the same Newcastle he found. They were pathetic. They have been pathetic for a long, long period. But Eddie Howe they've followed his system. They've built upon that. The players he brought in, and now they are very, very, very unforgiving team if you meet them. They're known for their energy, very good midfield, and their attack, which is now falling apart. But and they've taken how many years since they got that oil money? They've taken quite a long time.
It's been 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
4 years or something. Yeah. So
4 years,
Liverpool, Slot found a ready-made team that was winning and had needed very few fixtures to even now his current way is even almost messing what he found, but they have managed to pull up and win the games they need to. Slim, actually they won against 10-man Newcastle, 90 plus 6. And no one is talking about how they were really brought. So time factor, people have to understand. Yeah, the time factor of doing things. Even Ferguson himself, when he was manager, sometimes you remember, we are not always winning games 5-0 and stuff. We used to scrap games 1-0. That's where Fergie, if people can remember where Fergie time came from, we used to stay 0-0 until 90 plus something. Just scrap a 1-0 win because the Premier League is hard. So that time will be needed. People need to support the team a bit better, just have that patience for this manager to implement his system and bring out the best in each of the players. So it's sad, when you're hearing stuff about Kobbie and stuff like that, but unfortunately, it's the cards we've been dealt. Just what you're saying, we are hitting the post. Making keepers perform 9 out of 10. That's not some things are beyond us. But I think as you said, we need to start seeing some performances. But it's still too early to judge. We give those few games. You have also this hard fixture list. I feel like can be a blessing in disguise. You start with the hardest part of the season, so that down the line it's a bit more easier. Now, I think Chelsea started the season. They were so bad. They started with some very hard games. They were just down there in the bottom barrel. They were number 10 and below for the major part of the season. Then towards the end, they came and even overtook us. That time when we won the FA Cup, so that we denied them the season before last. We denied them to go to Europa. To Conference League. They came and overtook us towards the end of the season. The squad gelled and all that. They just had these massive signings and the team was not yet gelled. So I feel I've been angry at some, seeing that second half performance against Fulham, because I sort of saw us go back to our old ways in some ways. But after some of the good performances I've seen, like Minja said, consistently perform at that level or try to keep it at that level. I feel the results will come.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, and just before Minja gives his closing remarks on the big debate or the ground debate, we have Ryan on YouTube who has said, when will Sedu Kone come back? Sorry that I said I don't want to touch anything to mess it up. Your chat should have come up, we highlighted, but I don't want to touch anything. But Ryan, I think it's your first time logging into the channel, your first time chatting. Welcome, karibu sana to the UKG community, to the UKG family. And Minja will answer that as he's giving his points on the ground debate.
Well, on Seko Kone, I think what you have to note is that he had a loan that was arranged for him, but Ruben Amorim blocked the loan. I think he thinks he can have some part to play in this season in terms of the Carabao Cup.
It's game week 2 of 38.
Yeah.
And
Too
And
early.
it's a draw. Guys, imagine if we lost.
Yeah, it
It's
would
a
have been,
draw and we
it would have been
Turmoil.
chaos.
it's a draw. So yeah, some of the comments before we go to the preview. Guys, sorry, today we've extended. I'm sorry, but you guys are good. You guys are good. Kevin Mwangi has said, I've seen Real Madrid exploring for Mainoo. Of course, such names will be used to get the price up, but we are yet to see decision. I think on either tomorrow or Thursday is when we are going to now get good news or concrete news regarding Kobbie. I have a feeling he'll start tomorrow. He'll play tomorrow. As Minja has said, Amorim is also playing politics, so he might decide to play him tomorrow to show you guys that he's still within my plans. You're also saying, Mwangi, that Amorim is a discipliner. Yeah, he is. He's a tough guy. Zidane to United is almost done. Mic testing. Mzee mzima. I don't think Zidane will accept any club football. I think he's waiting for the France national team. And I think he also mentioned the same. Yeah. Then you're saying that Zidane, also Mzee mzima, you're saying Zidane is the best manager, guys. Well, Amorim was also the best manager when he was at Sporting, but now that he's at United,
A different case
it's a
altogether.
different, yeah. So it's we are yet to see. Also, Alonso was the best manager, and right now, look at him. Kevin Mwangi, you're answering Mzee. You're saying no, it will be a waste of money signing for him, his players. We better be patient. True. As we said, no point in keeping the changes. You're also saying let's be patient, Kevin Mwangi, and I think that's the comment of the day. Zemzima, you're responding and saying let's wait and see, but if things don't change, then he must leave. We all agree, as Minja has said in his submission, that by November, if you are still getting 1.0 points, then there comes a time where you tell the manager, hey, look, you have to go. Abu, I think it's the first time you're tuning in and commenting. Karibu sana, Abu. Hey, guys, help me welcome Abu.
Welcome.
Yeah, as well as it's the first time Minja and Njoro are joining the live stream. So you guys make sure you give them a shout out. And I'll hijack them. I'll make sure they be coming on for the big debate. And these guys are good because I sent them a message. Was it today morning?
I think it was today, early hours.
Yeah, today
Were you
morning.
not asleep?
Sorry?
It was very early.
Yeah, it was early. I promised these guys I'm going to bring guys on board. So Abu, you're saying let's wait and see. Banga Iza. I think that's something Joro can enjoy having in all of his graphics. He's saying I'm in. Karibu sana. It's also your first time. Bangaiza, make sure you also click the like button, follow us on TikTok, follow us on YouTube. Yeah, so guys, the next 15 minutes, then we end the show. Grimsby, we are playing Grimsby tomorrow at I think 10 p.m. Kenyan time, if I'm not wrong. And we know that Grimsby and such kind of teams are very, very tricky to play against away. You remember in the office I was discussing with the guys about United having tough time whenever they go away on such fixtures. You remember Cambridge United?
Oh my God.
How they gave
Coventry.
us
Nil-nil.
Was it Coventry also? As well?
also Coventry, yes.
It was Cambridge United 0-0, and then they had a return match to Old Trafford. One of the things that reminds me of the game is that their whole budget for the year is £1.6 million, and they played for that replay, knowing that if they came to Old Trafford, they'd get £2 million. So in that one game, their whole budget of the year, was guaranteed. Yeah,
And surplus.
and surplus. Yeah.
To sign someone.
Yeah. So it's a tricky fixture. We know that their grounds are quite, of course, they are welcoming but hostile at the same time. They're the sort of
Yeah.
grounds that you can get. It's like a 15,000 stadium. I'm not sure of this the seating, but you can find that probably they have a stadium of 15,000, and United will only get like 2,000 tickets. So you can imagine 13,000 fans against 2,000 fans. So
Yeah.
it will be a tough fixture.
Yeah.
Let me start with Minja quickly. Make sure it's like a minute or two. Then we go to Njoro. So Minja, quickly, what do you expect in that game?
In the game to be game, I expect to see changes in the team. One of the things that I would love to see is Kobbie Mainoo playing. Aiden Heaven should start. There should be a change in goalkeeper. Baindi should get a rest. Maybe Onana or Hiton should start. I expect that Ugarte, I would prefer to see an Ugarte Mainoo double pivot. The other players, Sesko should get 90 minutes. One of the things that we have realized is that he's not been getting enough game time. They need to adapt. That game will be difficult. What happens with this small team is that you said they will have around 13,000 in a 15,000 stadium. The other thing you forgot is that their fans are usually very close to the ground. So they do heckle the players a lot. They do heckle players a lot.
Coins, they throw
Yeah,
coins
and draw
bottle
coins. And as you
tops.
can see, one of the one of the things about that game is that they play for their lives.
Yeah.
Just like we said, they know that that game, winning that game, it will lift their profile, so they are up for the game. What happens is that under no circumstances should you let them score first. If they score first, they defend with their lives to the end. So that's going to be a problem. So one of the things that, if they score fast and they defend with their lives, they know at the end of the game to penalties, it can be a 50-50 game if they can take the game. One of the things about Carabao Cup is that there's no replay, and that the 90 minutes is straight to penalties.
Yeah.
So it's one thing we should avoid at all costs.
Yeah, so Convergence is saying that the stadium capacity is 9,000.
Wow.
It's even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
So it's 9,000, and I don't think, because normally the ticketing is like 2/3 for home and 1/3 for away. Yeah, so I don't think we'll get even 2,000 tickets, to be honest.
It will be less, and they'll be in the wrong part of the field where you can't affect it. So
Yeah, and Karibu Sana, welcome to Convergence. I think it's also your first time posting a chat on any of our lives, so welcome. This has been the ground debate. So Minja, I said 1 minute. I'm going to be a bit strict on the time, so let's move to Njoro.
Yeah, I think I agree with most of Minja's sentiments. We want to see these players who have been having the rest play, especially Kobbie. We want to see him perform. He's just, when you guys are mentioning about the stadium, I'm just thinking, and the heckling and stuff. I'm like, I think Bruno should take a rest. This is not the kind of game. He'll be heckled there, or someone says something and it will mess with his mind. So he needs a rest so that he can be ready for the next big Premier League games that we have. And Sheshko should definitely get enough game time, because this is the kind of team he can test himself and probably nick some goals and build his confidence up. And we should definitely score fast. If we play the way we played the first two games with that intensity against such a team, I'm expecting we could, have the first goals, and under no circumstances let them score fast. Because if we start with that intensity and get a few goals, it will give us that boost, and then just people not to have any sort of complacency. Because these small teams are known to be giant killers. They're usually just plotting, and they're like, this is the game that is going to make us or break us, and they're like, we're going to give it our all, and they end up playing like, I don't know, prime Barcelona or something like that. And like,
prime
where did these performances come from? So I'm hoping to see some of those guys who have been on the bench. I hope to see someone like Zaxi. For me, I really love him as a player, and I think he has nice hold up play. So I feel like some of those guys on the bench should get minutes to just test them out. And we should definitely aim to win this game and settle it beyond doubt. We don't want that whole 1-0 up to the 88th minute, and then they score with a header.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the small teams, they are very good at set pieces. So that's one of our problem areas. So we should be very wary of that.
Yeah, my only concern is set pieces and corners, free kicks, because right now every team has a blueprint on how to score a goal against United. Those guys will aim for corners. You'll find that a guy will just kick the ball, not to score, but to get a corner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The number of times I saw by India in no man's land at every corner.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah, it was chaos. So that's my worry. And the other worry is, such teams, it's difficult to do a pressing game because those guys might end up hoofing the ball forward. Just kick it over the defenders. They know we are playing a back three, so they might go with a 4-4-2 and just ping those balls forward. Keep pinging them. We try to pass around, and I don't know how their pitch looks like, but it might be a muddy pitch. For example, you remember the Cambridge pitch, you really struggled because the pitch was muddy. Those teams can even decide to overwater the pitch. I remember there is
their tactics. That's what they do.
Yeah, you remember the game we played in which country was it? In the Europa League, to a point where Ten Hag was like, "No, we can't play on this pitch. We'll only get injuries." I can't remember which pitch it was. So it might be the same case. They might decide to do a Mourinho tactic, water the pitch until it's soaked. Yeah. So
and not the pitch.
Yeah.
Water their half.
Yes, water their
they
half.
They usually water one half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the good thing is that we are playing in the evening. Sometimes those stadiums do not have good sun cover, and they usually choose to start with the side with the sun, and then second half the opponents go to the side that the sun is now shining on. So they just keep. You remember what you used to say during the Fergie days, a cold windy night in Stoke. So they hit the ball and it's just hanging in the air.
Yeah.
Just hanging in the air, and then someone comes and like Shokros comes and just puts in a header. So quickly, some comments. We have D. I can't pronounce the last name. It's really, really tricky for me. As a Kikuyu, you can understand.
Understandable.
Yeah, for us, a C is an SH. So let me just say D. We mentioned that in the first part of the show that let's give it time. It's still game 2 out of 38. Let's give it time. Probably in November that's where the league starts. November, December is when the league starts taking shape. Kevin Mwangi, you're saying, imagine you will find Grimsby and Burnley playing as prime Barcelona because they know it's United. Clearly, you saw Fulham. Fulham unlocked their prime Swansea, their prime Barcelona, their prime Inter Milan. And then when they meet a team like Crystal Palace, they will be battered 4-0.
And you're wondering what the hell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't have the same levels of motivation.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't. So I agree with Kevin Mwangi. So Njoro there to Minja. Your starting lineup, prefer starting lineup quickly. 1 minute.
Sheshko, we maintain, the Mbeumo Kunia to give them confidence. I feel in that double pivot, Ugarte, Mainoo, and then I don't know. I don't Dalo to play ever again, so I'll just stick with Ahmad. And or I don't know what's up with our Moroccan. Is he injured?
He's still a few days to play. They don't want to rush him because he played so many minutes last season.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dogu, keep his wing. And I feel maybe at the centre back, Maguire should start this game. I feel, and should be the captain. Yeah, for me. And then for the centre backs, Delete has been solid. Euro can be given a rest, and put Aiden Heaven there. For goalkeeper, I'm an Onana stan, so I know guys have all this stuff about him, but I feel bad for my guy. He should start in goal.
Okay. Yeah, Minja, quickly.
I'll have Onana on goal. In the defensive part, I'll have Heaven, Maguire, and Yoro. In midfield, I'll have Ugarte and Mainoo. The left wing back will be still Dogu. He's still very energetic. Ahmad will start, as you can see. We don't want anything to do with Dalot at the moment, so Ahmad starts. In the 10 position, I think I want to see Zaxi and Cunha or Mbeumo, one of them. So because Zaxi plays well as he drifts from the left, so it's Zaxi, Mbeumo, and then I'll have Sesko starting as the striker.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I failed to mention I'm still recovering from a very bad cold. That's why you see me bending over. Um, it's not. I'm not sipping something down here.
Get well soon.
Yeah, I've been having a really bad. In fact, before this show, I took a lot of dawa, the ginger and lemon cocktail to make sure that the voice is back. The cold has
Yeah.
been this side of town. The cold has been bad, and just like that, our family dog has started complaining that we need to sleep. Anyway, so Kerry, I think it's also your first time commenting and joining the chat. Thank you very much. Karibu sana to the UKG community. And these two gentlemen here will tell you, as well as the likes of Mzemzima, Kevin Mwangi, that this is one of the best Kenyan United communities, along with the likes of Minja. We are building Kenyan Manchester United communities. So that's why you see us trying to collaborate and bringing you big shows. One day you'll find me in Minja's podcast. Come over.
Yeah, that's certainly.
Yeah, and Njoro, I think because of his line of work, probably he's not allowed to have his own.
I can't.
He's not
I
allowed
just
to have
join
his own.
others.
But
I support others.
Yeah, he supports others. In fact, before I continue with the comments, I'll just mention this as a side note. Njoro is a very, very big factor to me doing what I do nowadays in terms of production, online stuff, even going out, doing the side hustles of live streaming. Because Njoro is the one who held my hand and told me, these are the tools you need, this is what you need to do, these are the codecs you need. And even recommends which equipment to use. So, Njoro, I've never told you this in person, but let me say it in public. Thanks, man. You've been you've been a really, really big.
That's good.
Yeah, you've been a big help to me and to the platform, and it's so motivating. And I'll say a big thank you for you even accepting to take some time and come on the live. Minja as well, I've mentioned. Minja, we've come from far. For those guys who didn't see the first part of the show before we went offline, we met with Minja as well as Njoro at uni in college. We can't remember how we met, but we just met. Minja,
in a Manu game.
Yeah, I think Manu game.
Must have been.
Yeah, must have been. And then these guys, we started doing field hockey together. Minja was our keeper. Njoro was our number one fan with the cameras, following us everywhere, motivating us. So we've come from far. And it's good to see you. So a couple of comments. Kerry also saying Heaton is more mature. So Kerry wants us to have Heaton on goal instead of Onana and Bayandia. And in my lineup,
It was really good during pre-season.
Yeah. And in my lineup, I had Heaton as well. So I will start with Heaton, and then I have Maguire, and then if Licha is fit, because he seems to be nearer than Nus Masraoui, I will have Licha playing a few minutes, starting, and then I also want to see, as Kevin Mwangi has said, Tyler Fredrickson. Tyler Fredrickson is a gem. That boy is so good. He's a good ball handler. He's like Lenny Yoro. It's just that we haven't seen him play a lot of games in the first team. And then I will still go with Dogu, but not the entire game. I'll have him play like 60 minutes, then bring on Diego Leon. I agree with Njoro in terms of Ugarte and Mainoo in the center. I'll give Bruno the rest. I also agree with Minja having Ahmad on the right, and then in front I would have Cunha and Mbumo so that they can get their rhythm, their fitness, and then of course start with Sheshko and then have Zaxi coming in the second half. So that's my predicted lineup. And guys, quickly, we have now 7 minutes. Let's finish this show. Quickly, let's start with Minja, your score prediction.
I'll go for a 3-0 Man United win. Goals by Maguire from one of the set pieces, and Mbeumo Cunha to score.
Okay.
I think Mbeumo Sesko to score and some assists from Cunha.
Cunha. Okay. Njoro?
So hard. I don't know. I'm suffering from the PTSD of last season. I don't want to give a prediction.
Come on, man.
I just feel like this game could even go like even 4-3. Like you know.
Yeah, it could. It could. Coventry. Coventry has this card.
Yeah,
fighting
Coventry.
over there.
Yeah.
But I really, if Sheshko starts, I really think he can score. Like he's an energetic, powerful striker. And against these kinds of people, and if he has like the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha there, like how they've shown their energy and supplying the balls to him, I think there we could get him to banging some goals. So I expect us, to edge them. I'll actually give like a 3-2 because I still feel we have some defensive frailties. So because that midfield is still not gelled and stuff like that, and our you're susceptible to what do you call them? Free kicks and corners. So those guys might get several. So just because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Minja, your score prediction?
I gave the score prediction of 3-0.
3-0. You said Cunha to give assist to Sheshko, Mbumbo, and Maguire.
To score, yeah.
Okay. Kevin Mwangi is saying United to win 4-1. I like how Kevin Mwangi is realistic. He's like, we can't keep a clean sheet.
It's a big problem.
I'm going for a 2-0 win. Just because it's Grimsby. Those teams are just, let me just be polite, those teams are just a headache to deal with. They're just a headache to deal with. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Tomorrow we probably might not be able to do a review because the game will end late. We'll have to do a review on Thursday. So just to give the fans a lineup, CEC Okumu is also one of our good followers. He's saying 5-1. So you want to say Grimsby will beat United 5-1? Or are you saying United to win 5-1? Because Grimsby are home, United are away. Have you said 5-1? Yeah, anyway, I'm joking. I know you mean United to win 5-1. So the lineup of the show is usually Mondays we do Ground Talk Live. So Ground Talk Live is where, for example, guys join the chat like this, or on TikTok, unmute your mic, you have your say. If you can't, you post a comment. I just read through, I discuss, I give my views. We agree, we disagree. Ground Talk Live is all about you, the fans. On Tuesdays, I'll try to have such kind of shows. It might not be every Tuesday, but at least once in a while we have a debate. I call in guys, and if you're interested, please DM us so that you can be part of the project. We don't go live on Wednesdays as usual. On Thursdays, we don't go live. Fridays, we usually have a Chaos Square Ground. So Chaos Square Ground is where we deal with... Hey, my dog is just... Come on, just wait. Kidogo tu, we are going.
Wants to comment.
He wants to comment, yeah. So on Fridays, it's Chaos Square Ground. So Chaos Square Ground is, as the name states, we discuss whatever has happened the entire week, the highs, the lows, the rumors, the good things, the bad things. So it's Chaos Square Ground. It's just ad hoc, no topic per se. We just talk about Manchester United and football in general. Saturday, it's mostly previews. So if you're playing on Sunday, we'll have a preview on Saturday. If we play on Sunday, the review is immediately after the game. If the game is on Saturday, then we have a preview along with the Kiosk Ground. Like now, we've had the big debate and the preview of the Grimsby match. So that's the lineup, and we always go live at 9 p.m. Kenyan time. So guys, did you know that we had a fan from Indonesia the other day?
Wow.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And
Yeah.
so make sure you also follow these guys on socials. So I'll let them say where you can find them. Let me start with Minja, and then we finish with Njoro.
On YouTube, on X, you can find me at UTD Minja. The channel is called Minja the Red. Same thing on X, it's just Minja, but it's at UTD Minja.
Yeah. Njoro.
And for me, across all socials, it's at Njoroge Muigai.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. So for Minja is Minja, for those who are wondering. Hey, come on. Frost, come on. Now you're becoming a nuisance. I need to end the show. I think he wants to go outside. So Kevin Mwangi is saying this team with a clean sheet is a no. I agree with you. So, yeah, that's it for today. Thanks, gentlemen, for tuning in. Thanks, guys, for being able to come in, chat, stick with us through the tough technical issues until Friday or tomorrow, if we are able to go and live and do a review of the game. See you then. Cheers and